I always wanted to be that girl that could wear a sports bra and not wear a top. I feel like that was literally something I said to my friend the other day. I was just like, I always wanted to be that girl, and I feel like I wasn't confident enough to do it, and I feel like I was embarrassed when I was in the gym or anything like that. And I think my main thing is just don't care what other people around you think, because they're focusing on themselves.
Welcome everyone to Life with Liza podcast. Our mission at Life with Liza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they have overcome so that those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage, and the hope to be their better selves. Today, we have a very special guest. She's the one who has started her Instagram journey recently, but it is a fast-growing community of over 40,000 people. She's sharing her content on lifestyle and wellness and building habits, but she's doing it in her unique way. And you really feel like she is your best friend because you can relate to her and you feel like you know her. And now she has also started her YouTube journey and is connecting with her community in a longer form content. Jess, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Hello, everyone.
I'm so happy to have you here. So let's start there. How did your journey of sharing your lifestyle and wellness start? Why did you decide to do it?
Basically, I think everyone's story is quite similar that I've spoken to. And it was sort of at the start of lockdown. Basically, I was at home. I went back home to my parents' house just to be with them whilst it was all like a scary time and everything. And I feel like when I was there, when you go back to your parents' house, you naturally eat more. Because they want to feed you, they want to show their love through food, and you're just like, this is amazing. Everything was just as normal when I go home. And then I was just sat there one day and I thought, okay, I'm just going to make myself some dinner. Went to make myself some dinner, and I feel like I was just chucking everything in the pot, like not really caring about what it was, anything to do with like portions or anything. And then I went to sit down with my meal and I was just like, I'm not even hungry for this. I don't really want this. What is this doing for me, this meal? That I'd basically just thrown together and not really considered exactly what was going into my dish. And then from that, I just thought, okay, tomorrow I want to make a change. And then I went online. I'd already seen ads for girls that are into wellness, and I'd seen a lot of new fitness stuff coming up because of lockdown. People were doing at-home workouts and all that kind of stuff. And I just found like so much inspiration. So I was just like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make a change. And then I found like a meal plan, I found like a workout plan, and then literally that next day I went for it and I just committed to it. And I was just very strict with everything that I was eating, making sure it was all whole foods, all stuff that was really good for me. And yeah, then I started to add movement in. Before that, I feel like I was always into health and with regards to my food, but I think with regards to moving my body and fitness, I wasn't really dedicated to it. I would sometimes go to the gym, like before you go on holiday, that whole ordeal. But I feel like, from then on, I started to move my body every day, eat healthy, eat whole foods. And then I saw the transformation and loved it.
It's so interesting. I feel like a lot of us have this moment. It's almost like one day something happened. I had a certain thought. And then after that, I just started doing this and I could not go back. And also for me, as you were mentioning, it was also during lockdown. Yeah. And I thought, okay, I cannot go to my dance classes anymore. I should start doing online workouts because I really felt like I wanted some movement. I wanted to challenge my body, and it was the only thing that could keep me sane. Yeah. And then I started doing Pamela Reif's workouts. And
I tried some of hers as well at the start, yeah.
And now I'm addicted. And then I started doing her workouts 5 times a week, and then it became a habit, and I never looked back. And now it would be almost weird to not work out, to not move my body. Yeah. I really feel whenever I do that, then my body is like, I want movement. I want something. I feel sluggish when I don't. Yeah. So I'm very curious to hear, how did you stick to your new habits? Because if it's something that you were not doing before, and then you had this one day that you decided to change your behavior, but how do you make sure that those new habits actually stick and that it is your new lifestyle?
I think the best thing about when I started with the meal plan that I was doing, it was basically instructing me to eat even more than I already was of these amazing whole foods. And I was like, and it gave me a structure of I wake up at 7 a.m. and that's when I have my first meal to get my metabolism going, to get everything moving. So I'd have my meal at 7 a.m. and then it would say, then have a snack 3 hours later, then have your lunch 3 hours later, another snack 3 hours later, and then your dinner 3 hours later. So it gave me that structure from the get-go to focus on those times. I knew I had to focus on myself. I had to go and make that meal. I had to make sure that I prioritize that snack, that lunch, whatever it is. And so I think that was the start of sort of the structure and the routine coming into it. And then it was obviously slotting in the workouts as well. So I'd sort of navigate when was best. And I really enjoy doing it in the mornings, just so that I'm up and I feel like I get that burst of energy straight away. And yeah, it gave me that sort of structure from the get-go with regards to the meals I was eating, making sure I was considering what was going into my body, and then sort of slotting in the workouts from there. So I feel like that was the start of sort of understanding structure and prioritizing myself, essentially.
And where did you get that meal prep, basically the meal structure from? Did you come up with it yourself?
It was a very weird brand that popped up on my Instagram, and it was called V-Shred. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, but it was basically just like this random app, and I think it was like $140. And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna, this is also what made me dive in, because I was like, you're spending money on something as well. You're committing, you've spent that money, you have to do this now. So that was the one that I did. It was called V-Shred. But from there, now I do Join Form with Sammy Clark, and I follow her workouts every single day. And she also does like meal plans and recipes as well. But he was definitely the one that made me understand food and just sort of what I need for my body. And it was basically just figuring out what you need for good energy. I think that's the thing you don't realize before you start this journey, how sluggish you can feel. And when you sort of embark on this, it's amazing the difference that moving your body for 15 minutes a day and eating whole foods just absolutely like empowers you.
I think you touched on two very, very important points, and I want to mention two of them. So the first one being that you actually did make that investment of paying some money. So you almost feel more committed to your goal, and it feels like an investment in yourself. And that's very interesting. The other part that also you had someone helped you with that structure of the meal, so you knew you just need to follow that structure. Whereas I feel like it's a bit more challenging to stick to something if you yourself have to create a new structure every day and to figure out what to do, because it basically creates a bit more friction between you actually taking that action and the action itself, and you don't want it. You want to reduce it as much as possible.
Exactly. Yes, I think it was major having that happen, because it's just something I'd never experienced before, and it's just not something you generally think of, but because you always think breakfast, lunch, dinner. And it was just having that structure in place was just definitely the start of all the habits that I have now.
And also the second point that I wanted to mention was when you said that you don't even realize how sluggish you can feel, how sluggish you felt until you start feeling so energized and ready to jump on the task, waking up, feeling rested. And I feel like if you live a lifestyle where not a really healthy lifestyle, you don't even realize on how much you're missing out. And once you start leading a healthy lifestyle, you know how good it feels. So you always return back to it.
Yeah. You want everyone else to feel the way that you feel. It's mad.
Yeah. And I was wondering, from all the positive habits that you have, the meal preps, eating whole foods, working out regularly, what would you say was, if you could name one of the biggest habits, or maybe a few of the habits that you've created that are the most impactful?
I would say definitely for my general mood and just making me feel like awake and ready to go, it's always that morning workout. So always waking up, I leave out my workout clothes, I make sure I get out of bed, put them on, and go straight into my workout. And I feel I can't really start my day without it. I do have my rest days, obviously, but I feel like, which I make sure I make time for, but on those days where I'm committing to doing a workout, I don't think I could start the day, like the working day, without it, because I feel like it just gets my mind in gear. It's also prioritizing yourself and making sure that you're focusing on yourself. I think that that's the thing. And yeah, it's just doing that in the morning, even if it's 10 minutes, or say one day I'm not feeling like doing such a heavy workout, I'll do like an 8-minute abs or something. And even just that small movement and that time by yourself, I feel like that really gets me going for the day and just puts me in the mindset.
It's so funny how you said that you feel like you cannot start your work day without a workout, because I feel like I can very much relate to that.
Yeah.
Today actually I woke up I overslept a bit and woke up a bit later, and then I thought, okay, I don't have time to do my workout. I need to still get ready and then start working. And then I was like, no, I have to do my workout. Literally my day will be so much impacted. I will not feel great. I'll have lower energy levels. I'll be regretting that I have not done that workout the whole day. So I just put my workout clothes quickly and still did the workout. And I felt so good afterwards. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's crazy how impactful that is.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just, it's just once you've started it, it's crazy that we all feel like that now, because like, within the wellness sort of space, because you just know how good you feel afterwards. That is just the best feeling. And you know that you've committed to something, and the fact that you've seen it through, I think that's the main thing. Like you say with yours, where you didn't feel like doing it, but you still committed to doing it and committed that time to yourself to do it. And obviously then that's going to set you up for the rest of the day. That's just like the best feeling.
Yeah. And also you were mentioning when you were sharing about your morning routine that you prepare your clothes, you're ready to go. I see you already incorporated lots of little things to help yourself, to help your future self once you actually wake up.
I always say
so. What are some of the things? How do you do it? Please share it with someone who is like, I really want to start working out in the morning, but I wake up, I don't feel like it. I don't do it.
Yeah, I feel like I always say, like, I thank my past self, because I always try and make sure that I've set myself up with what I'm going to be doing the next day. I always make sure that I'm ready to go, so there's no excuses. So I know that I've got that set picked out. I'll always put it in a separate room. So I won't keep it in my bedroom. I'll keep it in my separate dressing room, ready to go with my little scrunchie. And then I'm literally walk into here and just pick it up and put it on and just have to walk down. I'm half asleep half the time, not gonna lie, walking down the stairs, like half doing my ponytail, like pulling my top on. But basically that is what I always do. And even in the evening before, I always lay out my mat in the position that it needs to be. I set up my mirror, I set up my dumbbells if I know I'm using dumbbells that next day. And I'll always pick the workout the night before. And that's my biggest tip, is to always pick your workout. Either schedule your workouts on a Sunday so that you know what you're doing for the whole week, or I say do it the night before, because you might be sore from the day before in that area that you're thinking, oh, tomorrow's meant to be leg day, but oh, I did some bum sculpting or something and my bum hurts, so I'm not going to do legs today. So I think you can switch it up then, but I always just advise to do it, plan everything the night before, and then you have no excuse. You wake up and you just fall into it, and it's just focusing on that workout. Yeah,
I absolutely love when my past self helps my future self. I love this when it happens.
It's the best.
Just being more intentional with what we do and doing those small things can help us so immensely. And I definitely think that, for example, planning out my workouts for the week helps me so much, because then I know what I'm going to do on every day. And when I started working out, I used to just follow Pamela Reif's plans. So then I didn't even have to think which workout I'm going to do. I knew I'm just going to wake up and I'm just going to do exactly that workout. And that was so great, because it removed all the thinking. And also another interesting part is that I also did the workouts that I did not think I would go for. For example, like upper body workout. I used to be very lazy on my upper body, but then because it's already in the plan, you still do it, and you see how beneficial it is for your body as well to work out the full body and not only like legs or abs or do the workouts that you actually enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I find. You discover new muscles, you see your legs change, your arms change, and it's just amazing following, someone else's plan. And for things that you might not have thought that you might not enjoy doing arms. I know a lot of people don't enjoy doing arms or doing squats, like doing legs. So I think, you sort of veer away from that stuff. But when it's a plan in front of you, it is amazing that you do it and you see such drastic changes. It's amazing.
And also, I think we sound so... as if everything is always working out perfectly. We always have our routine right, but it's not. I just want to say to anyone listening that it's really not the case, at least for me, especially when I'm traveling, it's way harder. So I also wanted to ask you, have you ever fallen out of your routine, and how do you feel about falling out of your routine? How do you get back to your routine?
I think this actually happened really recently because I just went to America for a trip. And when I was there, I was like, okay, every morning I'm going to wake up. I requested to have like a mat put in my hotel room so that I could work out every day. And then it's just not realistic because you can get jet lag, you will get extra tired. I mean, you feel lethargic because you're out of a different time zone, or it can just literally be that your body needs some rest. And so every morning I was trying to wake up and do a workout, do some sort of movement. And it came to the point where I had to prioritize my lifestyle. I mean, doing things, I'm in a different place, I'm away on vacation, I want to go and explore early in the morning, and maybe I just don't have time to fit in that workout. But I always try and think, if you can't work out, just do a walk. If you can go for a walk, or say on that day that you are traveling and you're exploring wherever you are, as long as you can do a walk as well, you're moving your body. I mean, you're giving your body some love, you're getting those endorphins going. And I was just trying not be too hard on myself, but because I know I have the intention of when I come back, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be back to my normal routine in the mornings, 6:30, I'm there every day. And I just know that I deserve this time to relax, because you know that you're going to go back to routine and you're going to stick to that schedule that you've set for so long and you've stuck with for all this time. So I think just don't be too hard on yourself, because you know that you will go back to it, and this is your time to relax. And essentially this is what you do it for, to then be able to go and enjoy the time away from it, and then you will get back on track.
I think it sounds very rational, and I absolutely agree with you from the rational perspective, because I also always know whenever I come back from the travels, I'll be back to my routine, but there is still some voice in me saying, oh no, the progress will be lost, or you're going a bit backwards. And it is hard not to be harsh on yourself. Is it easier for you to not be harsh on yourself, or did you still also have some thoughts like this?
You do get, because you physically are changing, like when you aren't being consistent with your workouts and your muscles are starting to go a little less defined, or you feel a little like, I don't know, bigger in areas, and you do see that change, which I know for some girls can be quite a big impact. And it is an impact even on me. If I see like, oh no, my arms aren't looking as strong like this week, oh, I should have slotted in that workout, and you do start to feel like, oh, maybe I should have done more. But I think I literally say this has only just happened very recently, that I do feel that I'm content knowing that it is going to come back. I am going to feel better, and I'm going to go exactly back to how I was prior to this trip, or whatever it is. But I think in that moment, I know it's hard to see the change and hard to see your body changing physically. But I think as long as you know that you're going to commit to yourself when you come back and get back into what you love doing, if you love moving every single day, you're going to get back into it. So I think just try not to be too hard on yourself, and just remember that you will get back on track, and it's not that important, enjoying the time, embracing that trip, or just having a little more downtime, I think is such a priority. So I think just try to think, I'm not going to be too hard on myself, and I will get back on track. I think that's the main thing.
Absolutely. And I feel like feeling stressed never helps. So if you are on vacation, please enjoy it and relax. It will be so much more beneficial for your health. than just worrying about not being on track, and then even it will have a detrimental effect.
Yeah, you want to try all the different foods that are there. Like, don't be restrictive to whatever your diet is at home, or if you do have a restrictive diet, I think, or like a structured diet. And if there is something that has like a different ingredient that you're not used to, or things, if you are very, because I'm quite like conscious as to sort of what's in everything. I think every wellness girl sort of is, really. We all read the labels on the back of the packets. But I think if something is a little bit different or you're not sure, I think just embrace it, you know, and if you don't end up liking it or anything like that, at least you tried it, you know. I think you don't want to have the regret of not experiencing something because of the lifestyle and the routine that you're in, or else you will then begin to resent the lifestyle that you're in. It is a lifestyle, essentially. So I think it's just so important to just embrace those times. And like you say, yeah, just relax.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that it is a lifestyle, because I feel like thinking about those decisions as if they are my lifestyle choices and prolonging the timeline just helps so much, because I know then it's not that I'm just trying to reach some goal and then stop. I know that I need to do it in the way that I can stay consistent for the rest of my life. For example, I want to stay consistent with the exercise for the rest of my life. And actually something that happened quite recently, because I've been working out for 5 times a week for almost 2 years, I want to say. And then I just got bored of online videos, and I just got a subscription, and I did in-class Pilates classes. And I just loved the change so much, because it was something new, and just going to a different place, doing a different type of workout, and that just helped so much. And then after 1 month, I was like, okay, that was a nice change. I am ready to go back to my online classes. But it was something that I wanted to raise, because it's okay to get bored with your routine and to switch it up to what the season of life that you're currently in is asking you for. Basically, if you feel like this is not working, you don't have to push through necessarily. You can try and change it up as well.
Yeah, 100%. I felt like that recently, which is interesting. I felt like trying some classes, and I think it's because maybe we've all done the at-home workouts for so long now. I feel like we want to get out there, we want to be more social with it, and maybe even meet other girls that are obviously in the same space as us, because we've stayed so consistent with it, and you're so passionate about doing it. So it's obviously interesting, yeah, to be around those people and to experience something different, which I think, yeah, is amazing. Because even in like Christmas time, like I won't stick to the same routine that I'm on now, like because you're going home, you're seeing family and everything, and I will change to just doing like 15-minute workouts a day, like because it's all I can fit in, because I'm doing something different. But definitely I think it's so important to mix it up and yeah, embrace like classes that are around you, or different like community events that are around you that are involving fitness and wellness. And yeah, I think it can come to a point where you do want to mix it up, and it is great to do that, because you're moving your body in a different way, and you might learn something new as well that you enjoy.
And instead of just thinking, oh, I must be, I'm just becoming lazy, or I'm not motivated, you're like, hey, my body is saying that I should move my body in a different way. Let me just listen to it, and being so appreciative. I think it's just a different narrative that's going on in your head, and then you act so differently. So I just wanted to tell anyone who might feel like they are getting unmotivated or lazy, just try out doing something new and switch up your routine. And talking about routines, what is your routine? So you sound like a very organized person who has her strict routine. So what is your bulletproof morning routine?
Bulletproof morning routine, pressure. Basically, I wake up, and as I said,
no pressure.
No pressure. I leave out my workout set. So I always have that ready to go. So it's kind of like my night prep, yeah, where I lay out my mat, I lay out my weights, I lay out my mirror, so it's all ready to go. And then I pick the workout set, I leave it ready in the space. So I just walk straight from my bedroom into my dressing room, pick up my workout set, and I do a fasted workout. So I won't have food before I work out. I just find it more comfortable for me to not eat before, especially because I wake up so early. It's like I wake up at, I think it's like 6:15, and then by the time I'm downstairs it's 6:30, and then that's when I start my workout. So, and I'll have like the computer ready to go as well. So then, and as I said, I've picked my workout the night before, so then I'll just get going straight away and do my workout. But like I said, it can be between 15 to 35 minutes. And I mainly stick to using the join form workouts and just follow. She does have a schedule on there, Sammy Clark, but I actually sometimes mix it up and I'll do like some of the short form workouts. So say she has like an 8-minute abs and she has like a 15-minute full body. I'll put those together to make like my own little workout. Or she has like 5-minute arms, 5-minute booty. Like I'll mix it up to what I feel, but I would have done that the night before. So I'll do my workout and then I'll go straight into my kitchen and I'll have loads and loads of water. So important to prioritize loads and loads of water. Basically, I try and drink like a whole one of these straight after my workout. I'm just like, my body needs it. My body needs to wake up. Literally, I'm just like sipping away as I go. And then I'll go up to my dressing room and I'll start to get ready. But I'll bring this with me. So I'll drink this, obviously, whilst I'm sat there. And then I'll also come up and have my breakfast. So I always like to meal prep my breakfast as well if I can on work days. So I'll have either protein balls, which I'll make on the weekend, or chia pudding, or overnight oats. Those are sort of my like 3 go-tos. I really love something sweet in the morning. I used to be such a savory girl, but since the whole wellness thing, I don't know why, I'm now purely sweet food in the morning. So yeah, and I'll also have some sort of fruit on top of the chia pudding or the overnight oats. And yeah, that's sort of my morning routine. Get ready for the day, and then I'm good to go.
Oh, that sounds so organized, but also so exciting. I love that you prep so much in advance as well. And I wanted to, I think everyone wants to know who is following you. Do you have any secrets for because you have very beautiful hair? I think you get lots of compliments, and people would say you did an interview with her and you did not ask her. Do you have any secrets? Any special care that you do?
I'm trying to think. Everyone sort of asks me about my hair and like what products I use, if there's like a vast like routine for it. And I literally use, I've literally got it right here so I can show you. I use basically a lot. My go-to is serums. So I have oil that I put on and serum that I put on. And then I'll always put on a heat protective spray. So these little babies. But I always think it's great to have an oil and a serum for your hair. I don't take any supplements for my hair unless it's just my new, I don't know, I think I've always sort of had strong hair since when I was younger. I used to dye it and everything, cut it. It used to be short, pink, every color you can think of. And then, yeah, just suddenly it sort of started to grow and then I started to look after it. So I use a dry oil on my hair, but I'll always just make sure you put conditioner in your hair, obviously when you shower, and then I just wash that out. And then I'll brush my hair, and then whilst it's sort of like towel dried, so a little bit dry, a little bit damp, I'll put on a serum. I genuinely think most serums are pretty similar. I'm not gonna lie. This one is my favorite one, which is a Tresemme one. Genuinely, this one is my favorite one, which is a Tresemme one that I always use. It's just been my go-to since I was younger. It's just been the best, and it doesn't make it too greasy or anything, but literally do like 1 pump. And then I'll just put on some little drops of dry remedy oil. This is by Aveda. And yeah, that one I just put a few little drops on because that one can build up. And then I just stroke it through my towel dried hair. And then when I go to, I let my hair air dry. So I don't put any heat on it straight away. But in the mornings when I do style it, I do use a curler to obviously make this curl. This is not natural. This is not me. When I wake up, guys, this is not how I look. So I think people literally think, they come up to me like, is it natural? And I'm like, no. I wish it was. And then, yeah, so when I'm styling my hair, I'll just use a heat defense spray. So any that's your preference. But yeah, that is my hair, basically my hair care. And I always brush my hair. I'm known for carrying a hairbrush with me every single place I go. So I'll always be brushing my hair. But yeah.
I love it. I love how simple it is. And at the same time, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like how our hair looks or how our skin looks is so much dependent on our lifestyle. Basically, how clean we eat and how much we move, how much we stress, because I find it, when people ask me like, what is your skincare routine or what is your hair routine? And I literally say my skincare routine is literally, if I eat healthy and I eat what works for me, my skin is so clear.
Yeah.
And no products can compensate if you're eating something that's not working for your body all the time. It will be reflected on your skin because it's literally your skin is reflecting what's going on inside. And I feel like a lot of the times people are just looking for a quick fix, whereas an actual long-term solution to the root cause of their problem. So that's why I also really like that you're saying, yeah, there are just a few products that I use, and of course you lead quite a healthy lifestyle. So I think that also supports how great and beautiful your hair looks.
Yeah, when a lot of people will say that my hair's like really shiny one day, and I'm just like, oh, I haven't put anything on my hair that day, but it could just be the foods that I eat, eating healthy fats. Like that feeds so much into the follicles of your hair. Just making sure that you, have that amazing diet, because I used to really struggle with acne so badly. It was unreal, like on my whole chin. I still have a lot of scarring and stuff from it. And I'll still get the occasional spot. Like on the weekend, I had something in it. It was like a cake that had a lot of sugar in it. So it wasn't like a healthy cake. It wasn't anything like that. Not maple syrup, nothing like that. It was pure sugar, I think, that was in this cake. The next day I woke up and I had 3 big spots on my cheek. I don't know if you can see them now, but I probably covered it up with a lot of concealer. But basically, yeah, so I had a lot of spots that came up. So that does show that, and it makes me reflect as to why I eat this well, so that I don't go back to having such bad acne all over my face. And that was obviously, when I was younger, I didn't obviously realize the root cause was what I was putting in my body. Like you say, it's from the inside out is how it works. But yeah, so that sort of showed that having that sugary cake, I loved the sugary cake. It was great. But this is essentially what happens, and from struggling when I was younger with so much acne, I think I don't want to go back to that, obviously. And yeah, just making sure that eating healthy, it just absolutely works from the inside out, literally, like you say. So I think that, yeah, for me, it's made such a big difference.
And also, I just want to share this thought because I think a lot of people, when they hear healthy foods, they imagine something so boring and so restrictive and, oh my God, I cannot even have this cake because, I don't want to have some skin problems. But actually, there's so much variety in what you can eat, and that you never really feel restricted, and you enjoy the food that you're eating so much. So I wanted to break this stereotype if anyone listening in has it.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. There's so many different meals that you can make that aren't just a plain. I think people imagine when you think of wellness and fitness, you think of chicken, rice, broccoli. But everyone says that to me, like, is that all you have, chicken, rice, broccoli? I'm like, no. Like, there's so much you can have, such a variety of food. And I feel like the more you get into it, the more you learn about the different foods that you're eating. You learn about like what chickpeas give you. They're such an essential, amazing protein that you can have. Or like hummus, like obviously from the chickpeas, it's another variant of it. And I think there's so many different ingredients so many different greens out there. You don't have to have broccoli. If you don't like broccoli, try kale. You don't like kale, try something else like Cavolo Nero. Like there's so much stuff that you can explore with. And just like we say, I think it's obviously understanding that you're going to feel so good after eating all this food. And there are like different cakes. There's loads of different varieties of brands now. Like you go into Whole Foods, you go into any of those shops, and you will see there's such a variety of healthy cakes that are made with raw ingredients, that are made with really pure ingredients if you read the backs of them. And you don't have to restrict, because those cakes taste insane, and I can vouch for that. So, but if you do want that cake, obviously, like I had the other day, don't feel restricted to doing it, because you've worked. I'm very much on that 80-20 diet. You've worked so hard during the week, and you want to have that little breather maybe, and you just want to try that cake. Like, don't feel restricted, or else obviously then you'll resent it, which you shouldn't, because it's your lifestyle. So yeah, I completely agree.
I think it's a great advice. And I was also wondering if you could actually go back in time and speak with your younger self and give her a few words of advice or insights from where you are now, what would you say? What would you share?
I would probably say with regards to wellness, I think just commit. I think that was the thing. It was that I was always into like new healthy foods and stuff when I was younger because my mum was really into it. So I feel like I naturally really like trying like different brands and stuff, and a lot of like vegan or vegetarian stuff was coming out that was interesting. So I would try that stuff. And I think it's just to actually prioritize this goal. I think that was the thing. I always wanted to be that girl that could wear a sports bra and not wear a top. I feel like that was literally something I said to my friend the other day. I was just like, I always wanted to be that girl, and I feel like I wasn't confident enough to do it. And I feel like I was embarrassed when I was in the gym or anything like that. And I think my main thing is just don't care what other people around you think, because they're focusing on themselves. You go to the gym, every single person there is focusing on themselves, so don't feel intimidated. But I also think just prioritizing what I want and not caring what anyone else thinks. I think that was the thing. Obviously, when you're younger, you're worried about like judgment of other people. I think that's a lot to do with influencing, even why I didn't start when I was younger, because I tried to get into it and I was trying to do like more of a fashion side of it. I wasn't that into it, and I feel like you're constantly thinking about what other people think in your hometown, your friends from school, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's literally the moral of the story for across everything is just prioritize yourself and don't let other people's opinions come into your mindset, because they will cheer you on when you do achieve those goals, when you do actually achieve what you set out to do. I'm sure those people will be there to support you. So I think just focus on yourself and focus on that goal that you have and make it a priority. I think that's the main thing.
I think it's so powerful to commit to a certain goal and then stick with it.
Yeah.
And also I really like that you mentioned that you just always wanted to be that girl who could wear a sports bra just without putting any top on, because
my whole Instagram.
I always wanted. I just also wanted to say that I always wanted to have defined abs, and I never had defined abs. And I thought that it is genetics. So you either have it or you just don't have it. And I was so convinced about it. And then when I started working out and then I started seeing abs, and I was like, oh, okay. So you can actually change how you look if you work out consistently.
I mean, some stuff is genetics. We can't change like having, I don't know, I have like chubby ankles, like, and that's just from my mum. Like, that's not going to change. But I think, yeah, no, it is crazy that, like you even say that when you were following the Pamela Reif plan and seeing your body change, and it's just something that you've never experienced before. I think it is unreal when you do start to see those changes. And I think that's obviously at the end of the day, going on the wellness journey, fitness journey, whatever you're doing, obviously seeing transformation and change is the reward that you're getting. So I think that is obviously, yeah, it's insane when you do see it. It is like, oh, I didn't realize I could do this. Like,
oh, this is so true. And also, I think for me, the biggest part was that I just committed to this lifestyle of working out regularly. And then I thought that I will not try to see any progress in the next like 3 months. My timeline would be like 1 year. I'm curious how my body will change in 1 year. And then you feel like you're way more committed, because otherwise, you know, maybe one day you look worse than the other, and then you're like, oh my God, it's not working. I should just stop. You know, what am I doing? But when you're thinking to yourself, no, I'll just like see what happens over a year, and over a year, your transformation, if you stick to a healthy lifestyle, it's incredible. You'll feel so much better because you have higher energy. You will look different. You'll see muscles that you've never seen. I remember seeing like biceps or triceps muscle defined. I was like, oh my God, I've never had those.
Yeah. That's amazing. Literally, I've been exactly the same. I think it's just unreal when you do see, because you've seen your body for so many years in a certain way. And I think when you see that change and the fact that you now have a bicep or some sort of definition there, it's like, I've never seen that before. And obviously what you're doing is transforming you, which is insane. Seeing it with your eyes, but like you say, feeling it physically is just unbelievable. Like, there's just so much transformation that comes with this journey. And I think it's so exciting, like all the time. I think that's the best thing.
And also another thing that I wanted to say is that I feel like a lot of people these days say you should not focus on your looks, or it's very superficial that you get so excited about seeing abs. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's not superficial, because I feel like I'm getting better and better, and it's so great to see your progress towards the best self you can possibly be. And actually, you are seeing this transformation because you're putting in the hard work. So basically, you just see the results, and it's great to look and feel your best. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on this topic. Do you also find anyone else telling you that it is a bit superficial, or what are your thoughts on this topic?
I do get quite a lot of I think it is crazy the amount of negative stuff that can obviously come from this, because it is something that we do every single day. So it is something that can be quite relatable, and obviously it's just the way that we live our lives, which can be so different to so many other people. And yeah, I do get comments on stuff saying like, "Oh, anorexic," or do you mean really hard things that are hard to take, basically. But I think, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a hard one with that, because it's like you just have to see past it. And like you say, you're doing it for yourself, and you have embraced that transformation, and you know that you're excited about it, and that's all that matters. And if anything, all I instantly think when you were telling that story is that person just wishes they were you. Do you mean they wish they were experiencing that? That's all I could think when you were telling that story. Is it's just a slight form of either not knowing and not understanding it, or it could just be a jealousy thing. So I think when it comes down to that, and if you do start to get comments, I guess this is similar to me saying before, being worried about what people will say about you, it's just don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to put you down because it's something they don't understand, or it's something that they want to achieve themselves and they can't. I think that's mainly the main thing that I take from it. It's just that they don't understand it, basically. And I think just try and look past it, because at the end of the day, you're feeling better, you're looking amazing. And I think that at the end of the day is the top priority.
And I think it also very much links into what we were saying in the beginning of our conversation, when we said that you feel such high levels of energy once you follow this lifestyle that you almost want everyone to feel the same way. But it's hard to imagine how good you can feel, because if you just never get to that stage, if you always feel a bit sluggish, low on energy, you don't even realize that there is this alternative world of feeling that you as a person can get to. You can just literally move towards your better self and feel so much better. So it's interesting how we also came back to this point.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, because it's just the thing that pushes us to keep going at the end of the day. It's just, that is the sum up of the entire thing, that it's just, you feel amazing. That's it, basically, summed up.
And I also wanted to ask you, what are some of your future projects that you are thinking of, want to work on? Is there anything excited that we can get a sneak peek of?
I do have some, I don't think I can say anything right now, but I do have some brands that I'm working with, that I love. Yeah. And you can probably guess, if you go on my Instagram, you can probably guess who it's with. So... yeah, and yeah, which will be up probably pretty soon. But I think just continuing to work with brands, and I think my favorite thing about working with brands is trying out so many different products. It's like you were saying before with, like, if you wanted to eat like cake but you don't think there's a healthy alternative, there always is. And it's like with these brands, it's like they have so many amazing alternatives or solutions to health and wellness issues, or just anything within lifestyle that can benefit you. And I think that is just my favorite thing about working with brands at the moment, is, and starting to build on that more, because of obviously the interest through Instagram that I've got recently. I think more and more brands are popping up, and it's just so amazing to see how many different products there are out there that are available to people, and that it's amazing that I get to try them and work with these brands and essentially make content for them, which is just so amazing, and just supporting them obviously as a brand, so that more and more people get into this lifestyle and understand how accessible it is. So yeah, I think just working with brands in general is my favorite thing. And yeah, you'll see coming up on Instagram other brands that I'll work with that I know and love, which you'll guess in 2 seconds. So
and before I ask my last question, I think it's a perfect time for that. where can people connect with you, see which brands you'll be working on with, or connect with you, message you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Jess Molly Bell. So that's JessMollybell, and on YouTube as well. So I'm on YouTube, Jess Molly Bell. Follow me on there. And yeah, just like join in. Let's build this community. I absolutely love speaking to people on my Instagram, and it's so amazing when girls reach out to me and just have the same mindset or just want to learn about it. Like, I'm always happy to reply to anyone that has any questions about anything. So yeah, or TikTok as well. I'm on TikTok. I'm kind of new on TikTok, but mainly Instagram is my go-to, and YouTube.
Perfect. And my last question is, so this one is quite a complicated one. So imagine you're 8 years old, you're looking back on your life and you're thinking, I wish I've done that. I knew I should, and I haven't done that. So now going back to this present moment, you're here now, and you already know that there is something that you really, really want to do. You haven't done it yet. What would be that something for you?
So something that I would have done, wish I did earlier.
It's something that you know at this point, in this present moment, that you really should do, but you haven't done it yet. So your heart, your soul is saying, you really should do that. You would really regret if you don't do that, but you have not done it yet.
Oh, I would say, I'm trying to think now, my 8-year-old self.
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one. I'm thinking like, there's so many different things I feel like I've learned over the time. So it's so hard. I feel like with my younger self at 8 years old, I would say the message of not caring what other people think and just going for what I wanted with regards to posting online, to making my online community when I was younger, or getting into sort of this whole space a lot earlier. I feel like would have been the thing that I would have done, and just sort of thought, don't care what other people think is the main thing. But for the future, oh, it's so exciting. That's the thing. I think just be persistent and be committed to your goals. I think that's the main thing. And like, another routine habit, which is amazing, is to journal and manifest. And I think as long as I keep doing that and just really believing in myself that I can achieve these goals, I'm going to achieve these goals, and living the lifestyle that I am 100% going to have those goals, I think that is the best advice that I could possibly give myself, because it makes every day exciting. I think that's the main thing. Just always knowing that you can achieve it 100%. Make sure it's realistic, obviously, but I just think as long as you know you can do it and you have the potential to do it, go for it. I think that's the main thing. I think that's the best advice I could give.
Beautiful. Jess, thank you so much for coming onto the show. I had the best time. I loved our girly wellness talk. And I'm sure this conversation will excite so many people.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. And thank you guys for watching as well. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to talk to you.